Hey everyone, this is Coloring Chemist. My name is Connie, and welcome back to the channel. This video has basically nothing to do with coloring. As you know, I've had a challenging 2024. My computer that I use to edit videos and record was fried back in November, and it's just been crazy since. So a few of you had suggested that I sort of get outside and enjoy my property and some nature, and I did, and it made me feel so much better. So while I was out there, I took some video, and I thought I'd kind of stitch it all together. This poor old computer will handle that kind of rendering, and share it with you guys. So this is just basically a walk with me through my property. A little bit of view out my front window here, just some snow falling. There's a deer that's checking out the feeder. I feed the birds. And the rest of it is just me walking and talking about, I don't know, nothing. So if you're here for the coloring videos, then you might want to skip this one and maybe wait for something in the new year. But I wanted to put this out just as a little thank you and a Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to all of you that have supported the channel. It means a lot to me. And yeah, I hope to start off strong in 2025. All right, so enjoy the nature. So this is November 27th. A few of you had suggested I go for a nature walk, do a little bit of filming to help my 2024 feel a little better. So I took your advice. Bringing you along with me. You can see in front of the camera lens. Sorry if it's jerky. I simply have my phone with me. I don't have what do they call it? A gimbal? I don't have one of those. Maybe someday. But you can see in front of if I stop maybe. See, it's just snowing. You can hear the birds, chickadees, crows. You can probably also hear some machinery noises in the back. That's in back of my property there. It's see if I can get a picture of this or on some video. Can you see the snowflakes? It is the perfect temperature. They're actually, I don't know if that's focusing. They look like snowflakes. Those are real. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that incredible? Snow is all about temperature. If it's too cold, it's just kind of little granules almost. And if it's too warm, then it's kind of big, sticky, clumpy, almost kind of melty. But right now, I think it's somewhere around -5-ish Celsius. Somewhere between -5 and -8. And that's the temperature when you get actual snowflakes. So, it's pretty neat. We'll walk a little more and then I'll probably put the phone away and just walk myself. Feet kind of crunching through the snow there. It's very peaceful. Sorry, my trail is, it's a trail we keep cleared and mowed ourselves, so it's not super even either. So if I'm a little bobbly, I apologize. I don't know if we'll see any. Chickadees are pretty little. You probably won't see any up in the trees. There's a big spruce tree next to me here. Here's one. You can see it moving in there. Oh, he's gone. You got one. You can see why my winter coloring and winter mandalas and things, I tend to have white, warm grays, tans, and blues, some darker colors, dark warm grays. That's kind of the color of winter here. It's overcast today because it's snowing. I think I will call that good for now. My hand is getting very cold holding the camera. Walk update, still November 27th. Not all of my trail is through woods. Some of it comes out into hayfield. So this is the back hayfield on our property. And sorry, I know you can probably still hear the machinery noise. That's from the property behind ours. We have a quarter section of land, which is 160 acres, I think, half mile by half mile. I'm almost at the back corner of it, but so I'm trying to move too quickly. It'll make you sick. This part of the trail and then the woods off to the right of me here always makes me think of, I don't know, like an enchanted forest. It's very kind of thick in there. You can see through the trees. Still hear chickadees. Bad about the machinery noise. If I come out in the weekend, I'll try and get another video. They won't be working on the weekend. You can see the gray blue of the sky, and yeah, so just a little walk update. Another walk update. I keep stopping to take walk update videos, but in reality, it's for me to catch my breath. Snow isn't super deep, maybe 2, 3, 4 inches, depending on where it's drifted. but it's kind of like walking through, if you've ever walked on a beach but in loose sand, like not packed sand, it's kind of like that. So it's hard going. So if I'm a little out of breath, I apologize. So my previous update was, see that line of trees over there? That was where I was. So then I went all the way down and I came across the back there and then came here. Not very far. But I did want to show you guys. You'll notice our forest, our woods, they're messy. Trees have come down. That's just kind of how it is in Canada. There's so much bush, is what we call it. It would be impossible to keep it neat and tidy. There's an old, I don't know if you can see just some lines of old barbed wire fence in there. We haven't had anything fenced back in here for, I mean, we've been here a decade and a half. So, and the people before us didn't have anything back here either. So that's old barbed wire fence. Used to be a cattle farm. But there's a birch in the snow. Birches are my favorite trees. You can see next to it here, that's a poplar. It's also called a trembling aspen, white poplar. And it has whitish bark too. If I go up further, you can see it's white and black. But birches are that. It's like a warm gray and white. If I go a little closer, you can see the sort of tan bits up there. So it's a paper birch. That's where the bark is peeling off. You never peel bark off the birch. If it's fallen off, you can take it. But if you peel it off, particularly if you peel it off deeply all the way around, you basically girdle the tree and it can't get water and nutrients up to the top anymore and it will die. So, but you can see there's other birches along here. Spruce, white poplar, some black poplar, and then lots of little shrubby things. There are dogwood in there. You see any red stems, basically woody stems coming out of the ground, but they're red? That's dogwood. Maybe I'll show you. Oh, I see one actually. I don't know if you can tell or not. You see how the wood, that right there, is kind of reddish? Hard to see in this light. So there is color. Just not vibrant color. Maybe this is what I've grown up with. This is what I've known my whole life. So maybe, and this is end of November. This is actually late for kind of our first snow. Normally it's long before this, but it will look like this till March, sometimes in April. So these are the colors that are a fair amount of my year. Maybe that's why I like those muted earthy colors. All right, hand is getting cold again. Be back later. Back into another wooded portion of the trail. There's ahead of me. Oh, you can just see there's like a glow through the trees over there. That's the sun. It's going down. It's currently about we're getting close to 4 p.m. By 4:30 it'll be dark. That's where I've come from. Mr. Coloring Chemist and I came on a walk on the weekend, and on this portion of the trail there was an owl. We were about this time of day, so it wasn't night, but It was big. It was a great gray owl, I think. Maybe I'll see if I can insert a video of that. Took a short video. It's not the greatest video. The lighting wasn't that great. It's owl's kind of dark and in shadow because it was over there and the sun was behind it, but it was pretty cool. Lighting isn't the best, I guess. That's very cool.
It's a very disdainful look.
Machinery noise is finally fading off in the distance. It's very quiet. More snowflakes. These are sheepskin mittens. They're very warm. I also have on, if I tilt down just a little bit, you can see the color of my vest. Tis blaze orange. For those of you that live in places where there's hunting, you'll know why I'm wearing blaze orange. It's basically so I don't get mistaken for a deer and shot at. Now this is all my land. I know in the UK and possibly Europe, you guys have different rules regarding land. Here in Canada and the US, if you own land, it's your land. And so if other people are on your land, it's technically trespassing. So these trails are just me. There shouldn't be anyone out hunting here on my land, but always pays to be careful. So until hunting season is over, I will wear blaze orange when I go out for walks. It just keeps me safe. There was some jingling you may have heard in the video that I posted back in the fall. Kind of muted jingling when I was walking. That was because the bears were still out then. And so we do have bears back here. They're hibernating now, so you don't hear jingling. I'm not carrying, they're called bear bells. Oh, make sure I don't go through this frozen puddle. They're basically like jingle bells, and you wear them to let, well, all kinds of wild animals, but mostly bears know you're coming. Black bears typically are not going to attack you unless you surprise them. So you can see my trail has, corners, and you always want to let them know you're coming. So you wear the bear bells. But they are all now hibernating now. So I don't have to jingle when I walk anymore. You can just hear actually, now the machinery is gone. That's how quiet it is. Well, I can still slightly hear the machinery. But it's very quiet, it's very calm today. No wind, just a gentle snow. It's beautiful. Don't know when I'll be able to get this edited and put together and posted. Like I mentioned in my comment on my community tab, my computer is in the shop. It got fried. So I don't know, I'll see if I can figure out how to edit this all together with my phone. I do have an old computer that I'm using just to get me by until the new one is either hopefully fixed, maybe replaced. But I haven't tried to do any video editing on that old computer yet. We'll have to see. But thank you to the folks who suggested I get out into nature, because you know what? I needed it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm not sure where I'll put these video clips. If they'll go into a odds and ends video, different color and chat. I don't do very many of those, do I? I don't know what I'll do with these clips. Hopefully you guys get to see them though, because it sure is pretty out here. Another walk update and me catching my breath. I thought the mushrooms on that tree were pretty cool. Can you see them? I think those are oyster mushrooms. I think they're edible, but only when they're fresh. They're probably hard as rock right now. And you can see more going up the trunk there. This is kind of my favorite opening, well, one of, gosh, I'm sure I can name favorites on the trail, but I'm in yet another wooded section. Mostly trembling aspen, white poplar in here, spruce. That's where I came from. A lot of willow in here. It's actually very wet in here. Pan down. So it's, as I'm walking, it's wet underneath. But I have good boots. What do the Norwegians say? There's no bad weather, just bad clothing. There's not sure what it is, but the bark on that shrub that's in the middle of your screen right there just looks very yellow. I know, it's probably not showing up on camera very well. And you get, there's some dogwoods in there too, red bark. The spruces do look green, but they're not vivid green, right? They're more of a dark dull green. When there's not a lot of color, you notice the colors that are there. At least I tend to. To the right here is a baby birch. Well, I say baby, it's probably already 10, 15 feet high. But when birches are young, their bark is more brownish red like that. And you can see where that sort of baby bark is peeling off, and underneath will be the white bark. So the older a birch gets, the whiter the bark. I'm coming out into a little clearing here, and in the middle of this clearing, you see that spruce tree? I've always joked with Mr. Coloring Chemist that we should somehow put Christmas lights on it. I'm literally in the middle of nowhere out here right now. I'm not close to anything. I'm not close to my house. I'm not close to... Could use batteries or a solar panel. It looks small from a distance, but I'll show you as we get closer. It's a really big tree. Mr. Coloring Chemist says, no, he's not coming out here to put lights on this tree at Christmas time. Maybe I can convince him. Not. So as I'm getting closer, he needs to, okay, so the camera's at about eye level. So this isn't a small tree. but it's very gorgeous and full. Sadly, Mr. Coloring Chemist says no lights. Oh well. Almost at my turning around point. Trail is a loop, but it's really wet this fall, and at the end of the loop that's just ahead here, there's a ditch, and normally in the fall it's dry, so I just walk across it and complete the loop. It's full of water, and right now it's probably frozen on the top, and I don't feel like falling into the ice cold water underneath, so I will probably walk a little further, turn around, and basically backtrack over what I've already come. Adds to my steps for the day too. I don't know if I'll include this bit or not. I'm pretty careful about my privacy online, but there's my barn, my house and property. So I'm still a fair ways away. The ditch I was mentioning is just around that bend, so I think this might be my turnaround place. We'll see. So I'm on my way back. Well, backtracking. There's a nice big spruce there. Again, I'm sorry I don't have a gimbal. One of these days, I'd like to get a GoPro, which has, well, not a built-in gimbal, but built-in stabilization software. I would love to walk this trail and just take you guys with me. So it's probably about an hour to do the full walk, and just walk at different times of the year. It would be very cool to walk it every day and see how it changes. I don't know if I'd be up for that or not, but if I ever got a GoPro that I could strap to my chest, then you would hear me wheezing and panting all the time, and probably blowing my nose and clearing my throat. But maybe you can edit that stuff out. Maybe I could edit that stuff out. I just thought it was an idea I had. I realize it's not exactly coloring related, but I love being out here so much, and I do love sharing it with folks that maybe don't live in a place like this. I understand and realize that I am so incredibly lucky to live in a place like this. Well, lucky if you like snow and cold. I do. Not lucky if you don't. But yeah, just some thoughts I had while I was walking. The snow on the spruce boughs. I don't knock it off, I leave it. I know it pulls the boughs down, but it also creates little shelters basically for animals. Just after I turned the camera off a little bit earlier, there was some kind of cracking and snapping of branches in the bush off to my right. Not in this section, different section. And I'm pretty sure it was deer. I don't think it was a bear. I haven't seen any bear tracks. That's rabbit. You can see I was hopping. Those, of course, are mine because I'm retracing my steps. But we have hares, I guess. I guess maybe they're not rabbits, they're hares. They're white right now. They go brown in the spring and summer and fall. But I've not seen bear tracks. I've not even really seen any canine or feline. We do have cougars, bobcats. Not seen any of those tracks either. Just deer and smaller animals. So. these. That's their alarm call. I'm stressing them out. You're okay, little ones. Getting closer to home. Wind is picking up a little bit. If you can hear it. The trees a little bit. It's probably pretty faint. I love, sounds silly, I love the dead grass in the winter. I don't know why. You can hear the wind in it a little bit. There's something I don't know. I can't explain it. It's the color I love. The wind picks up a little more, it makes a rustling noise. There's just something very bleak about it that appeals to me. Not just because I've been having a terrible 2024. It's always appealed to me. Bleak. One of my favorite carols is, excuse me, In the Bleak Midwinter. There's another little section of the ditch here that I have to get over, so I'm going to put the camera away, otherwise bad things could happen. Me again. My goodness, by the time I stitch all these together, I should have just kept the camera on for the whole time, shouldn't I? I'm in a little, it's like a little cul-de-sac of field. I don't know how else to describe it. Just gonna turn here. So the trail, when I was talking about the grass just a second ago, was actually on the other side of this kind of stand of willows, but it's very marshy in there. I hesitate to call it a stream because it dries up. I call it a ditch. But I think that's why the farmer who does the hay for us hasn't ever hayed in there. It's just too wet. So basically, this is all just left as kind of marsh, and he kind of goes around it. So you can see through the trees. There is hayfield back there. I don't know if you can see. I'll put my mitt kind of through the trees there. And then he goes out and around and then comes back in here to hay. But over there, there's bedrock, so he can't hay up in there either. But there is more hayfield on the other side of that, so there's this funny little cul-de-sac of hayfield. But it contains my favorite tree in the whole walk. There's a great big birch right in the center of your screen. It's a beautiful old thing. You look at the branches up against the sky, and then look at, pointing with my, here, I'm going to take my mitt off. Here's my finger. This tree right here, you see how the branches look different against the sky? That's a white poplar. There's another birch right there. Sorry, camera's trying to focus on my finger. And then this is my favorite tree. I spend a lot of time out in nature, and I'm a scientist, I'm a chemist, but I do like all sciences, so I like learning about botany, trees, plants, things like that too. It's very quiet and peaceful out here. Still in my cul-de-sac, but I turned around and saw that. Camera isn't doing it justice. It looks too yellow. It's much more peachy than that. It's sunset behind clouds. I don't know if I can, if I tilt it up, will the peachiness come through? No. Yeah. Picture that, but with less yellow and more peach. But you guys have maybe seen some of the past winter pictures I've done with kind of winter sunsets and colors with the peach and the coral and the gold and the blue. That's, I see it out my window. That's where my inspiration comes from. Yeah, the camera's not doing it justice. It's much peachier, but still pretty. There's maybe some of the peachier color, but it's almost getting too dark now. Almost home now. It is almost 4:30, and I did say it would be dark by 4:30, didn't I? I lied. But I don't know if you can see the difference in light. I would say it's twilight. We do still have just over a month to go until the shortest day, so it will get darker, but by 5 o'clock it will be dark. But that's okay, because I'm only about 5 minutes from home. There's no crunching under my feet. It's not super crunchy because it's not super cold. Still snowing a bit. Still snowflakes landing on my mitt every now and again. My sleeve. It's darker than it seems. iPhone cameras tend to pick up as much light as they can. That's why when you see people who have video and photo of northern lights, which I can take for you guys too, they're always much brighter than they appear in real life, because the iPhone's lens picks up more light than the human eye at night, so it looks bright, but it's much darker than it looks on. I don't know if I can get it to darken. If I get out of the snow, that's more like what it is right now. If I come down, then the snow tends to brighten things up, but yeah, almost home. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.